Around the Beat podcast. Tire talk and fleet solutions for trucking, mining, agriculture, and more. Aiming to inform, pioneer, and entertain the tire world and connected industries. Sponsored by East Bay Tire, keeping essential industries moving forward, and Dog Pound Tires, performance under pressure.
Around the Beat is back. I'm Joe Pahanik, and I'm joined by Mindman Mark and Big John. And today we have an exploratory discussion on a very specific case study. Mindman Mark took a dirt moving operation, and he presented them over 7 figures worth of savings. And today we're going to break that down. Gentlemen, you ready to kick tires?
Let's get to kicking.
Let's do it.
So, Mark, give the audience, tell us a little bit, how many machines, what was your first site visit like? Paint us a picture. What did you walk into?
Well, it was a multiple of plenty for everything involved. There was 745 articulated dumps, 773 rigid dumps, and 777 rigid dumps. Approximately 12 745s, about 9 773s, and about 20 777s.
That's a decent sized fleet.
It's a good size fleet, yeah.
And running multiple shifts, running how many hours a day they running?
Multiple shifts. We're looking at about 16 hours a day.
Is that typical for a fleet in that application, that job?
Well, unfortunately, there is no typical.
Right.
This would have been a little bit outside of the typical.
A little bit more hours than you've seen.
Yep. Yes.
And then they're moving dirt from how long were the hauls? What was the incline like?
It was a 7-mile haul. It was about anywhere between an 8 and 10% grade in some areas, not the whole haul, but there was certain areas that hit almost 10% grade.
Loaded coming down or going up?
Loaded coming down. So obviously that goes into budgeting. When you take a rigid dump and you put it going downhill loaded, your tire wear goes up rapidly.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking undercarriage components. I'm thinking brakes, transmission wear, because you're carrying that weight downhill. But from a tire wear, that's more so than going up?
Yeah, substantially.
On both axles?
Yes, on both axles. But the geometry of the tire of the truck just changes. So the way it carries the load changes, shifts a lot of weight to the front.
So do the fronts wear out substantially faster than the rears by comparison to a flat surface?
It certainly can.
Yeah.
Typically they'll wear out about the same. The backs will wear out just about as fast as the fronts will.
So what else did you notice at the job site?
Well, definitely the road conditions, the base material that it was going. It was a very sharp, almost like glass fragmented rock. So anytime we get in a situation like that, I'm always concerned about water retention in the pit areas, on the roadways. Do they have proper drainage? Are they running through spots of water? That's always a concern.
Did that job site have the drainage?
It did. It certainly needed to be redeveloped a little bit. But for the most part, it had enough elevation change that it was easy to drain the water from the high spot or from the low spots.
And then what else you noticed about the job site? What tires were they currently using?
They were using a mismatch of a little bit of everything. They had a lot of Yokohama in there, which I didn't necessarily think that was the right tire for that situation. I think the TMPH was too low for it.
Mm-hmm. for the audience, what is, and really me too, what is TMPH and how's it measured?
TMPH is tons miles per hour, and we measure it by the length of the haul, the speed of the haul, and the tonnage that's carried. And there's a formula that goes into it. And that is basically a way that we rate the tire to make sure that we're putting the right tire in there.
Is higher always better?
No.
No.
It just depends on the situation. You can go with a lower TMPH, and maybe you'll get more tread depth.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll get a different cut resistant versus a higher pH, which, if you get the cut resistance, you lose some TMPH. If you gain TMPH, you lose some cut resistance, or you gain some cut resistance.
Hey, Mark, on a haul, 7 miles seems pretty long, especially with that kind of grade. You said 8 to 10%. What kind of possible issues does that present for that fleet, that operation?
Rapid wear on the tires, definitely. You'd probably see somewhere around 40 to 60% faster wear than, if it was at a level grade. That would be the biggest tire-related issue.
Does speed and heat come into play?
Absolutely, yeah. Speed and heat comes into play on everything. When you've got a downhill situation, when you've got a loaded vehicle, massive braking, the brakes generate a ton of heat. The whole drivetrain creates a lot of heat as you resist it going down.
So why was that tire on there to begin with?
Well, that tire was on there because that's what the equipment came with. When you get into a lot of these situations, especially if it's leased equipment,
Yeah.
it just gets the same tire. You're going to get the same tire on your site that the last site had. And if the last site was, a gold mine, you're getting gold mine tires. Nobody's going to replace the tires just because of your specific.
Status quo, but it needed a higher TMPH tire.
I recommended a higher TMPH tire.
Right.
Yep, I felt that was specific.
And that would be a tire that could carry that tonnage at a higher speed?
In this particular situation, it would carry the load at a higher speed, which would have given them an extra gear in the 777s.
What do you mean by extra gear? Explain that to us.
Well, a lot of these machines, you can take out gears. They have a computer program. They plug it in, and if it's a 7-gear system, you can take it down to 6 gears, or 6-gear system down to 5 or 4.
Limits the speed they could go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So how many gears did they take out?
That particular one, they took out 2 gears.
I know the answer is nothing is ever typical, but I mean, how often does someone take out 2 gears out of the 773s you said, or 775s?
Those were 773s. Well, they take them out on a regular basis. They build the truck to specs, and then you can model it to your situation.
Did they take the gears out for the application, or did they take the gears out for the operators, or did they take the gears out for the tires? Or something else?
On this particular one, they had taken it out because of the previous year's failures. So they had a substantial amount of tire-related failures, heat-related failures. Yeah. So they needed to slow the machines down. And at that point, they gave up a tremendous amount of integrity in the machine. They gave up a ton of money.
They had to give up a ton of productivity.
Yeah, productivity.
Absolutely.
What's 2 gears on a 773? 7 miles an hour? 10 miles an hour?
Yeah, probably close to 10 mile an hour.
So running that many trucks, that equates to hours a day that they lose.
Absolutely. Yeah, when you turn that 7 mile run, you can turn it 1 or 2 times a day extra. That's an extra 100 ton, 150 ton.
So if I'm connecting the dots here, how many 773s?
I think there was 12.
12. They run, if they had all gears, they'd run up to 30 miles an hour, 28.
I think it was 28 mile an hour.
Okay. So they have tire failures. They bring it down to 18 miles an hour max in order to stop the tire failures.
Yes.
Okay, and that's when you came in.
That's when I came in.
All right. So what'd you do next?
Well, we kind of went back to the old school idea. We looked at the TMPH first. We called in some expertise and basically looked for a tire that could give us a TMPH that we could gain a gear back.
How many options were out on the market at that time, you think?
One that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
And it was in a closet in somebody's desk behind two old bookshelves.
But you found it.
What we found it.
Yeah. Okay. So that sounds pretty specialty to me. But is that just the nature of your work every day?
It is. It is kind of what we get into. Not typically that dramatic every day, but every day the basics that we put into that case study is the same one that we put into every fleet that we walk into.
Right. Okay, so what you picked this tire? What was the projected gains? I mean, how did you present that? From a wear perspective and bringing the tires or the gears back.
We estimated the wear rate to be about the same as the previous tire, but we could gain almost 6 mile an hour in this turn. So almost a 30% gain in productivity, which speculates that we wouldn't have had the failure rate, which would have saved money. We would have had some fuel savings. We would have had time savings. All around, it was a $1 million save on this project.
I'm actually thinking more. I mean, so how many tire failures were there?
I wasn't involved in that, but it was substantial. At one point, I heard it was $500,000 a week.
I believe in this particular case too, if I remember my Mark, is the increased production was going to allow them to finish the job 2 months earlier, which was going to have them hit a bonus, I believe, finish early bonus, whatever they call it.
Yeah, definitely. There's always that goes into play. But the biggest thing, if you can turn back, 10 or 15, 20 pieces of equipment 2 months earlier, you're talking, $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 for a piece of equipment every month. It turns into real money fast.
What I find so fascinating about this is it all adds up. So there was $1 million early completion bonus, right? 7 figures there. To your point, how many 773s again?
About 12 773s.
12. So even at $300,000, $400,000 a month in rental, you're at well over $500,000 to turn those in 2 months early. The tire failures are gone, whatever that total expense was, and then fuel savings, 2%, 3%.
I would be comfortable to say 2%.
2% on a job that's probably burning $4 to $7 million a year, $500,000 a month in fuel.
I think that would be conservative.
I'm trying to be conservative for the audience. We don't want some comments, not 100.
Yeah.
But $500,000 in fuel each month. Holy smokes! Yeah.
It's real money quick.
Yeah, for one tire decision, if you add all that up, multiple millions saved.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it when you look at it? Is that the nature of your day to day, or is that a real point in your life that you'll look back and go, "Hey, that was a great case study"?
That was a great case study. I will say that. But I'm just as proud and just as happy when I save $100,000 or $200,000.
Yep.
Every job site that we walk into is a case study, and we look at the value that we bring in the cost savings.
Can you think of a scenario that you couldn't fix? The one you look back on, maybe as a younger man, that you look back on and go, man, I wish I would have known what I know today and gone back into that fleet. There we go. There's a smile.
Yeah, there was a time I put a speed rated truck tire on one going from Michigan to Texas, and well, you know, a few $1,000s later, we fixed the issue. Yeah,
A speed rated steer tire, drive tire.
Oh, I was a big shot. I did the whole fleet at one time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I shot myself in both feet.
I see.
Literally.
The whole fleet with a speed rated tire, and the tire failed, or it was
Yeah,
DOT.
they got to about Missouri,
Yeah.
and I got my phone started ringing.
How many trucks?
17 at the time.
Okay. Could have been worse.
Yeah, could have been worse.
Did
Not much worse, but it could have been.
Yeah. Yeah. Woo. Did you drive out there?
No, they flew me out there.
Oh, they said get on a plane
that was
right
nice.
Yeah. They it was one of the largest demolition companies in the country, and they offered their helicopter and
now. Oh.
took me right to the airport, right to the private jet, right to.
Oh wow! First class ass ripping.
I wouldn't say first class.
Yeah.
It was, but it was ass ripping. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
We've all been there. Maybe not on a private jet, but we've all been there.
Yeah. Yes, we absolutely have. That's a great one. It's a lot of humility there, Mark.
Oh yeah. I
but-
ate a lot of crow for that.
But for the younger guys out there listening, or people trying to improve their fleets, or tire guys trying to help fleets, I think that's a great story of you got to try to get there, and then it can take a career before you're sitting in front of a 13-unit 773 fleet, plus articulated dumps, plus, and offering a multi-million-dollar savings just based off of a tire decision.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we all go through that. Luckily, we've learned to train better than what we originally were brought in the industry for. You know, I was never trained to be a salesman. I was never trained product placement until I took it upon myself to learn that. And product placement application is a huge part of the industry. Yeah. It's probably one of our biggest failures in the industry also.
Is product training, application training?
Yes.
Yeah. Training as a whole, it's something we talk about on this show all the time, but it is such a specialized and niche industry. I mean, there's going to be a construction shortage of over 1 million bodies coming. We don't even have 1 million bodies in the tire tech sales industry in North America.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a great story, Mark. Any other thoughts on that?
No. Just we keep training, keep learning, and keep moving down the road, trying to save a little bit of money and put a little bit of that savings in our pocket also.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Gotcha. All right, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Around the Beat podcast. Tire talk and fleet solutions for trucking, mining, agriculture, and more. Aiming to inform, pioneer, and entertain the tire world and connected industries. Sponsored by East Bay Tire, keeping essential industries moving forward, and Dog Pound Tires, performance under pressure.